As I was seeing patients in clinical practice over 15 years, I really came to believe that so much of the imbalances and manifest illnesses that I witnessed often come from the stress that we create for ourselves by being hard on ourselves. And so I really think that one of the most beneficial things we can do for ourselves and for others is to learn to soften and have greater self-compassion. It's another interesting aspect of being human that often the way we relate towards others is a reflection of how we relate to ourselves. And so if we're hard on ourselves and we judge ourselves and we feel a lot of guilt, we will tend to be hard on others and judge others and try to make them feel guilty. When we have compassion for ourselves and we're gentle with ourselves, we tend to extend that compassion and gentleness to others. When we acknowledge that we make mistakes, that we are not always skillful, that we sometimes have suffering that causes us to act in unskillful ways, it becomes easier to see that others' unskillful actions stem from their own suffering that we may not even know about or understand. Because when someone is truly happy and full of vitality, they do not cause as much harm or suffering to others. When we are acting from that place of our true nature, we have that compassion and wisdom and love that overflows. And so when others aren't acting in that way, it almost always indicates that they are suffering. And so knowing that, it creates the space to be more compassionate, to take things less personally, and to allow our softness to maybe, like water on rocks, gently disintegrate that hardness. There are many things that we can do to move towards this softening. The body and the breath are two techniques, two places of focus that are often employed in different traditions to help us come towards the stillness and peace and softening that leads us to the true experiential awareness of our true nature. When we focus on the movement of the breath as it flows in and out in each moment, it begins to calm and steady the mind. As we bring awareness to the felt sense of the body, we become aware of where we might be resisting or creating tension or guarding. And we can use our awareness and the breath to begin to soften those places. Abdominal breathing is an excellent practice, combining both body and breath awareness. And when we use abdominal breathing, it has many other benefits as well. To engage in abdominal breathing, the diaphragm has to descend, and the diaphragm is a muscle that as it pushes down, actually begins to compress a lot of the internal organs, which helps with detoxification as well as bringing fresh blood supply to those organs. So it's very healing for the digestive system and internal organs. Abdominal breathing also helps us shift from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system. And as we abdominal breathe, we can feel ourselves, our consciousness, relaxing deeper into the core of our being. We all have this true nature of stillness and light and love. It's a practice to continually come back to it, to realize that we always are this state of being, simply that we forget. And so we practice by taking 5 minutes or 10 minutes or half an hour to sit on our cushion. And yet the real practice is to begin to bring that with intention throughout our day, to notice our breath, to notice our body, whatever we might be doing, whatever we might be involved in, and to continually remember this state of consciousness within us. I'll end with another quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. Enlightenment, peace, and joy will not be granted by someone else. The well is within us, and if we dig deeply in the present moment, the water will spring forth. We must go back to the present moment in order to really be alive. Thank you all for joining me today.